It's Dizzy. I'm out at the farm. As you can maybe tell, it is raining. I posted earlier in the year about needing a hurricane, not really so much the hurricane, as the moisture from it because it was so hot and dry. And now that it's October, we finally got the hurricane. And as far as the rain goes, at any point in time, it can stop. Uh, I spent part of Thursday, the majority of Friday, getting ready for this hurricane. I was afraid of losing power. It's getting cold out, so I was able to get a whole bunch of firewood cut and split. I wasn't able to finish it on Friday because I didn't have a sharp chain. I got one on Saturday. It didn't rain for most of the day on Saturday, so I was able to get the wood in. But it rained Friday night, stopped Saturday morning. Saturday was cloudy, but wasn't too bad out. We had gotten like an inch of rain. And it started raining again Saturday night. And got about another inch of rain. And it stopped. I was able to feed without it raining on Sunday morning. It started raining again while I was in church. I was so glad I took a raincoat with me because it was pouring. By the time I left last night to feed, we had gotten 3 3/4 inches of rain at home when I dumped the rain gauge because that only holds 5 inches. When I got out to the farm and was able to check the rain gauge, it had 4 1/4 inches, so I dumped that rain gauge as well. One of the roads that I drove down to get here was flooded. I took a different road to get home that comes out on that road. Well, when I came back, that road was closed off. And flooding was almost onto the road that I was on, so that was bad. It rained all night long. And it's supposed to rain all day today. We have gotten, it was another 1.25 inches both places when I checked. Of course, it could be more than that by now, so that's over 5 inches of rain. If it was much colder out here, we'd be getting snow. It is so cold out here and so wet. Threw the blankets on the horses. I'm so glad that I hadn't taken them home. The blankets need to be washed and mended. I haven't done that yet because I have my sewing machine in to get repaired and cleaned. Spool holders snapped off, and the guy's not even sure if he can get them, but that's okay. Just any way that holds the thread, I'll be happy with it. And so, like I said, I was glad I hadn't taken the blankets home and washed them yet because I couldn't repair them. And they're still waterproof. Can't guarantee they would have been waterproof after I washed them, and I don't put the waterproofing on until after I fixed them. So that's that. Of course, I do have the chicks, and the weather changed from what they had originally been saying. I had thought of moving birds around so that I could have Laverne and her chicks locked in the house where I've put my roosters. I was going to move them into where they were. I had it all planned out, but then they were saying, it wasn't supposed to be raining most of the day, most days, so I didn't bother to move them. Well, since it's been raining and the chicks are so small, I was afraid that if I just left them out loose, they'd not be able to figure out how to get into the house, and that I'd lose a lot of them. It's the one night I did have to catch them and put them away, and there was the majority of them that I had to catch. I didn't feel like doing that again or possibly losing them. So Laverne has been locked inside her house with 13 chicks. Imagine how you feel when your kids have a snow day and it's too bad to go out. And that's probably about how Laverne is feeling right about now. Licorice has still not been doing the greatest, so I've decided that I'm going to be setting up so that I can have her. She will have, from the run-in, over to the round pen, and then from the round pen to the one post where I had the field divided. And she will be wearing the grazing muzzle, and I was hoping to get that set up. I'm also going to have a thing with water set up for her, and I can't even set that up because it's just too wet out here. So I don't want to be out here in this. I got soaked yesterday. I hadn't been thinking and had let the chickens out, and they were all in the running, and they didn't want to go back in. So yeah, I was pretty wet by the time I got home. I also, for the earliest that I've ever had it, I do have the fire going. I do have a couple space heaters running. The one heater that is hooked up in my room, in my house, is in the bathroom. That heater is on. I blocked off, we had vent for the air conditioning coming from the ceiling, coming from the attic. And I live in a bi-level, so I blocked those off to make it so that the heat's not going up to the attic. It doesn't need to be there. But that's what we're dealing with. Thank God we haven't lost power. We haven't had the winds. We haven't had the devastation like they've had in Florida. So as bad as it is here, I'm just thanking God that it could have been so much worse. I hope it's nice weather where you are, and I will talk at you later.